Nebuchadnezzar was. They never
Right.
heard of him. They don't care, you know. And the odds are 1 in 365, basically. Well, 354 in the Jewish calendar. There's 1 in 354 chance it's going to be on the same day. I mean, that tells you that there's something really, you know, God wants us to know there's something really bad about this day. And in recent history, every single one of us watching this, this is something that's happened very recently. 5 years ago, in 2005, on Tisha B'Av, was an event that, you know, to me was like the most horrible of the thing I've ever seen on live television. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay. The Jews in the state of Israel
Yeah.
gave back the Gaza, and on that day, on Tisha B'Av, the Israeli soldiers came to the town of Gush Katif and literally they schlepped Jews out of their homes. They pulled them out. You know, the Jews didn't want to leave,
Right.
and they pulled them out.
Right.
In my entire lifetime, the only footage that was close to that was when the Nazi soldiers pulled Jews out of their homes in Poland. This was a one-for-one. I was horrified. In my lifetime, I would say what they call a Chil Hashem, which is a desecration of God's name. I think that was the greatest Chil Hashem in my lifetime. When these Israeli soldiers, Jews, pulled Jews out of their homes.
Why would you care? You hate Israel anyway.
I don't hate Israel. Because the entire world was tuned into this. And what did they see? They saw that when Jews have control of their own country, they behaved the same way as Nazis did.
What? They didn't put them in concentration camps and gas
They
them and send them up chimneys. They made a strategic readjustment of the borders of Israel.
Oh boy, you sound like an Israeli politician. You sound like an apologist for the Israeli government. I look at it as like this. I see this is how I looked at it. I just looked at it. I said, you know, up until now I was, you know, like a supporter of Israel and blah 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 blah, right? You know, and I was, you know, supportive of the Israeli army. And I saw this, and I saw these soldiers go in there and pull Jews against their will, and these were from Jews with
to save their lives.
How do you figure that saved their lives?
Because once the Israeli army withdrew their protection, the Palestinians would have massacred these Jews.
Then how about just not give back the land at all?
The Israeli politicians made a strategic decision that it was overall in the best. I don't have an opinion one way or another whether it was in the best interest, but by pulling out the freeing Jews from their homes, they were saving their lives. Because otherwise the Palestinians would have massacred.
Well, let's put it this way. Okay, let's say you're right. Let's say you're right, just for the point of discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say the guy's right, okay? Yeah. And let's say, like, you know, the Israeli government really gave a crap about these Jews, right? So they're pulling them out against their will to save their lives, right?
Yeah.
Let's just go with that hypothesis. The Jews clearly had indicated that they don't care to be kept alive, according to you. So why can't they just be grant them their rights, whatever? They bought these homes, they cultivated that land, they did it according to when the government said go move there, you know, these settlers. It was the same guy, Sharon, who said go move there, and they went there and they built that up, and then, they don't want to leave. So just let them stay. You really think they're going to get massacred? Let them get massacred. But why go there on international TV, you know, let the press come in and let you see Jews pulling Jews out of homes like that? I watched that. I was horrified.
I think they wanted to give those freeing Jews in their homes like an opportunity for an emotional catharsis. Like if the army had simply pulled out of those areas, those freeing Jews would have like been running back to Israel on their own. But by doing it on national TV, they got to let all the freeing Jews like cry and wail and go, oh, look how terrible this is just like the Nazis. But if they'd simply pulled back the protection of the Israeli army, the freeing Jews would have left anyway. But they wanted to give them an opportunity to make a big emotional cry about it.
Well, it's nice that you put, you know, like a happy face on the whole thing. I looked at it, I said, this is not a joke, this is not, you know, a coincidence that this event is happening on Tisha B'Av. This is just another reminder of how horrible this day is. It's the greatest Chil Hashem, it's the greatest desecration of God's holy name, that we see Jews pulling each other out of homes, the same way that the Nazis pulled Jews out of homes. I don't see there's anything good in this. I don't care, like you have, like, I'm going by what I see on my soundbite on TV when I'm looking at it. And this is a picture I should have never seen. No one should see Jews pulling Jews from homes.
That's why you shouldn't own a television, Robs.
Huh?
That's why you shouldn't own a television.
That's why I shouldn't own a television. Okay, look at the spin on that.
That's like, I don't have an opinion one way or another whether it's good for the Jews to withdraw from those lands and pull Jews out, but I'm not one of my friends who's obviously upset about it like you are. So I'm just sharing that.
I'm not saying they should have given Gaza. I personally don't think they should have given Gaza back. Mm-hmm. That's my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. But that's not the point here. Once, and you might have been like, this what is this?
Strategic withdrawal.
The strategic reassignment. We're not schlepping out of your home. We're strategically reassigning you to your front yard via through the window. That's what we're doing. Here's my thing. I don't care about all the political ramifications and giving back. I don't care.
You get upset seeing Jewish soldiers take
exactly that. And once they knew that these people are not going, here's what they needed to do. They needed to go readjust their plan. They needed to sit down back in the Knesset and go, this is not going to be good for us if we do this. We can't. This is no longer an option. And that's what they should have dealt with.
What if they were like left-wing secular socialist Jews they were pulling out of their homes? Would you have been?
There wouldn't, because all those secular socialists were long gone. The only people who stayed behind were the hardcore Gush Katifniks, the settlers, they're all, Shomer Shabbos. Everybody else was long gone.
Like, I have to do the same thing, like pulling Jews around when I walk the mean streets of Pika Robertson. I often find Jews feel very entitled to walk into traffic and to step out into sidewalks when there's still a don't cross sign, and people are trying to drive by and there are Jews importuning themselves out into traffic, and I try to pull them back. Kind of like
it's not quite. No, it's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
Not the same thing. And I want to take this one thing right here. Okay. Yeah. Someone said here that the settlers, are knucking futs, which is he means fucking nuts, is what I think he means, or she. Okay.
Which is a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Now you know what? I'm not saying that they're not or they are. I'm not taking an opinion. You can make an argument either way. I don't care. I'm saying it doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong, or who's more nuts, the Knesset or the settlers. I don't care. Here's my problem. Right. You don't pull Jews out of homes, and I don't care what this. There's no firmfering here as far as I'm concerned. You don't have that, and the fact that had that, it was horrible, and it took place on Tisha B'Av, and that's just another reminder how horrible that day is.
What do you think about that guy who assassinated Yitzhak Rabin?
He's a murderer.
So, do you have a copy of Baruch HaGever on your bookshelf?
No.
So you don't think Baruch Goldstein's one of the great heroes of Jewish people?
No. What's so funny?
It's hard for me to get it in my mind around people who believe that Baruch Goldstein's a hero.
Well, here's the thing. Okay.
There's a fringe element.
Yeah, okay, I know what their argument is, okay? Okay, so for those who don't know, Baruch Goldstein was a Jew who lived out in Hebron or Arba, what's it called, Kiryat Arba?
Yeah.
And he had heard that the Arabs were plotting to kill the Jews the next day. Now, there's a halacha in Shulchan Aruch. It says in Jewish law that if the non-Jew is going to kill you,
get up early,
or if anybody's going to kill you, then you should get up early and kill them first. So he believed that what his calling in life was to get up the next day, and when all these Arabs were praying in the mosque, he thought it would be a good idea to wipe them out with an M16. Now, obviously, this guy hasn't spent a lot of time learning PR. Because that's number one.
He's doing it in people's mouths.
Because I don't see how this is ever going to play out well in the world media. The guy walks in with an M16, just fires at innocent people in a mosque. So there's that. So, as the guy at Tzaddik, I'm going to have to go. It's not for me to judge, right? It's not for me to judge, But from what I can see, something was inherently wrong with this.
But don't you have pictures of Baruch Goldstein up in your sukkah for the guest that you're supposed to have?
No, it's easy to what do you call to armchair quarterback after the fact, right? Monday morning quarterback, whatever it's called.
Right.
But in hindsight, would it have been a better idea for him to get up early, right?
Yeah.
get the whole town together, get all the Jews together,
watch out,
and everybody's like got their guns